We are on air.
Good
William,
evening,
do you want to set us up?
Oh, sorry.
We would like to welcome you
Everyone mute, please.
to the inaugural video for Destroyed by Dark Lord of Darkness. Again, this is the inaugural video. This is going to be primarily a fluff video. And in this scene, we will be opening this scene at a mixed martial arts fight where the pretender to the Sabbat throne, Mr. Wiley Tyson, has gathered a number of his supporters to discuss this. Also, James will be assisting in the running of this scene and will be assisting me in setting the scene at various points. So, without further ado, James.
We are at Cobo Hall, which has been in Detroit for decades now, a very run-down stadium. We're at UFC number 612. The main event is Royce Gracie comes out of retirement to fight Brock Lesnar, who's the current champion again. There's already been some vandalism outside for those people in Detroit who are not able to get in for the event because they didn't have tickets. But they're mad because they think they should be able to get in for free. So they're throwing rocks at the walls. And they're throwing rocks and they're smashing them. But you know what? That happens every night, so it's no big deal. In the box seats are... Go ahead and introduce yourselves, gentlemen. First, we have the pretender to the throne, the Archbishop, Wiley Tyson. Go ahead and describe yourself.
I am Wiley Tyson. You see a gentleman of my appearance, a little older than what I would be. You also, if you were to look carefully upon his wrist, you would see a tattoo of a vampiric claw. A tattoo that appears upside down from the viewer, meaning that the top of the cross here with the stem going down this way. His haircut is cut like mine. His beard is like mine. He wears a dress-down coat, much like you see me wearing here. And he is seated in the skybox, sipping on a rather large beverage, but he's drinking from not the typical cup, not the typical plastic cup that you would expect to find at these sporting events, but he's insisted on bringing along his own drinking utensils tonight. He sips as he watches the introductions for the upcoming fight.
Okay, we also have in the skybox Nefertiti, who is joining our team in the skybox, and he seems to be watching the hall very closely and watching the vandals outside, just keeping an eye on things. Nefertiti, can you give us a explanation of your looks and give us a little, talk to us a little bit, buddy?
Actually, you hear and see a very dark skin, very ethnic, soft smoking man dressed in leather, black leather jacket, black t-shirt, Hugo Boss jeans, black boots, looking anxiously around as he hears the noises from the rioting or vandalism. He sits immediately behind the Archbishop, scanning the crowds at various times and ensuring that nothing untoward has approached the Archbishop.
There's one more person in the skybox. It is... I have it. Go ahead, Walter. What's your character? And give us a little rundown.
David Grimm.
He is actually sitting a little closer to the monitor, looking at how it is set up. And there is a shadow falling over him. Obfuscate 2. What little you can make out is a little bit of a t-shirt, some fairly nice slacks. He's dressed down for this event. But you really can't tell much about it.
Okay, I want to let you guys go ahead and role play freely for a few minutes before. Oh, but first we have across the hall, across Kobo Arena, sitting in a seat, unbeknownst to any of you and not knowing about any of you as well, is Dr. John Carter, a very well-known scientist who, by the way, is getting some attention. There are a few nerds in the audience who are like, "Holy effing fuck, is that Dr. John Carter?"
Yep, that's me. Start signing autographs, signing individual people's books from Physics and You, the Physics for Dummies book that he wrote a while back.
Dude, what cosmologists see? Tell me, what does cosmology have to do with two semi-naked men wrestling?
Well, do you want the actual philosophical explanation or just the personal reason why I'm here?
I want the philosophical explanation. I want to hear it.
Well, the thing is, if you actually think about it, there's been this whole belief that the stars were always the stars were always the eyes of the gods watching from overhead, and you'd always have these weird rituals in ancient times of half-naked men wrestling or boxing or what have you, while trying to appease the gods who were sitting up on Mount Olympus and had their eyes as the stars up in the heavens watching down below. So for an astronomer or cosmologist like me, that's kind of the old philosophical thing. That there is an old ancient feel to this that one can experience, especially as a kindred and a scientist. One needs to kind of get out, and this is the personal reason I'm here. One reason, every so often, one needs to kind of come out and actually see the grittiness of the human nature, if only just to remind oneself as to why one follows the more intellectual the more pursuits of the mind.
But there are constellations that depict semi-homoerotic struggles in space?
Take a look at Hercules. There's a Hercules, the famous who amongst the things he was known for was actually being too powerful a boxer in one of the legends surrounding him.
Okay.
Or there's the half-naked Perseus, going after the Medusa. Again, another constellation up there as well. So
we go back to Wiley Tyson, who's really the host of the evening.
I know.
By the way, I need to make a roll. I need to roll Auspex versus Obfuscate at the present moment. Not because he's trying to look for anyone, but because of the fact that he has Auspex and Heightened Senses on at the moment, because he's trying to watch the fight.
Well, all you get is you get bombarded by the sounds and smells, and you're just totally inundated with the sounds of the arena. I mean, there's nothing else besides vandalism. You know, there's vandalism going out outside.
Okay.
That's kind of common.
Okay, I'm just simply going to...
Very hard to see.
If you're looking for vampires, Guthrie, if you're looking for other vampires, Guthrie, you need to put on aura perception. Second dot of celerity.
Or Auspex 2.
Okay,
yeah. You would need
I'm only just checking. Basically, the thing is, what I'm concerned about is that my character, because he has Auspex 1 up and running, that basically he's going to inadvertently break the Obfuscate of the Nosferatu. That's why I need to roll against his Auspex. I'll be against his Obfuscate.
You can't see the Nosferatu. He's up in the skybox across the entire arena.
Oh, okay. He's too far away for even my heightened senses to get to. Because
I rolled to see where you guys were in juxtaposition to each other, and you were exactly opposite, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, I was just going to say, because my character also has merit Auspex, my character's merit heightened sense, specifically sight, which is part of the reason why I was going to say with the Auspex turned on as well.
Yeah, if you're curious, you can see into the skybox, and you can see whoever is really watching the event and it's not obfuscating themselves from the skybox, you can see their faces. You don't know their faces.
Do I see anything? Do I see any disturbance going on below?
No, the security has cleared the vandals. The vandals are out. The police are outside.
Not the vandals. As related to Dr. John Carter, when the students saw him there in the audience.
No, there's
And
not a discernible disturbance. No, there was a very civil, just a couple people coming up to him and crowd, getting his autograph.
Okay, so they weren't like mobbing him. They weren't like mobbing him.
Now, later in the event, they will probably scan his. Actually, right now, let's say the cameras scan the faces of the. There's Frank Stallone, there's Sly Stallone, there's Tito Ortiz in the audience. There's Dr. John Carter, who somebody may not know. There's a former fighter that was a former heavyweight, like that.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm continuing doing my.
Okay, and we'll go ahead and host the event. I'm going to let you host for a bit.
While he's turning to his side, looking in the direction where Mr. Grimm should be.
You say looking at Grimm?
Yeah, where you should be at. So I would not think that the clan of the Nosferatu would be particularly fond of wanting.
I'm more interested in the technology, sir.
And just technology is all?
Well, occasionally I like to see a fight or two. Yeah.
Fighting is always good, especially in a cause.
True.
Well, I'm afraid the gentlemen that we see in that ring down there before us, they're fighting for a cause. They're fighting for a cause, and that cause is the almighty dollar. Sure, they're going to think that they're fighting for their families. They're fighting to make life better for their daughter or better for their... Trust me, gentlemen, that's bullshit. They're fighting for the almighty dollar. The almighty dollar is what controls this world. And the sooner that people realize that, the sooner this world will be better.
I want an awareness. Who has the highest awareness here?
Awareness or alert?
Awareness.
Okay, yeah, that's somebody else. That's not me.
I have. Well, let's see.
I have it too.
I've got alertness.
How much?
I've got 2 in alertness.
No. I want awareness. So we're only looking at awareness 2 is the highest awareness in the whole place? Archbishop, awareness 2? Okay, Archbishop, do you have any kind of way of detecting paranormal in your area, in the area?
I'm looking at the sheet now. I do have occult 3.
Okay, guys. Never mind. Nobody detects anything unusual. Go ahead, Will.
As far as detecting it, no, I would know what it is. But, yes, the almighty dollar. It is, as he turns to the gentleman decked out in the all black. The almighty dollar, which if I had not mentioned beforehand, you should expect your payment by the end of the day. But as I was saying, the almighty dollar is what comes mortal, and it's pitiful, really. It really is. That's the difference between us as canines and them as humans. They fight and tooth and nail against each other. Against their laws and their regulations created to earn paper and coins simply for the purpose to give them away to acquire something else. It's a relatively useless society, to be quite honest. It's all so pitiful. That is the reason why we assume superior.
Will,
Meaning,
Will, I'll go to New 3D next. Let me just ask Will something real quick. Do you have any like specialties in business world, or do you monitor the business world, like influence, influence contacts, allies, or knowledge skills that have anything to do with business?
I have 3 dots in expert.
You have 3 dots in expert business? It's hard to hear you. Okay, yes. Okay, then you know.
Yes, 3 dots.
That's a good skill. Wow, your mic. I can't wait for your new mic to come in. Here's the deal. You know that the Renaissance Center had about a few weeks ago had put itself up for auction, had put itself up for whoever the highest bidder was to take over that center tower that you want so bad. But they have abruptly today, with no explanation, have cut off and have said that there is not for sale. Okay, just letting you know. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead, Nefertiti.
what I particularly enjoy about the fighting is the perfection, the preparation, the training that goes into this. It's magnificent. I always believe that any organization can always do better. Can always do better. Striving for perfection is the height, even above money. Because as you perfect things, it grows and creates more perfection in everyone's life. What I'd like to see is a striving for excellence, and that's I'm very thankful that I have the opportunity to serve you, Cardinal. And in that respect, I see that same mark of excellence, and so it's my pleasure to be of service to you this evening.
Real quick, does anyone have the ability to tell what's going on in the news at the moment? Like, do any of you like monitor the news or have any disciplines that allow you to know what's going on in the news or anything like that? No? Let's say no. Go ahead, guys.
See,
Race.
the Nosferatu have the Shrek hat.
Are you monitoring it now? How do you connect to the TrackNet?
That's a good question.
How do you connect? All right, get back to me on
Up
that
to
one.
his cell phone, suffice to say.
When he's outside his lair, he's got his cell phone. Yeah. His smartphone. He could be.
All right, you get a call. Bling, bling, from one of your connections in the Nosferatu. It's actually, this is a broadcast to all Nos. There has been another cast corridor killing. Do not venture into that territory.
Cast quarter. Cast quarter. The boss looks over at Cardinal.
The Cardinal raising one finger as if to give Paul some Nosferatu. And after a second, he drops it. Yes.
Puts it on repeat. answered the Cardinal.
There has been another cast corridor killing! Do not venture into that territory, that is all.
Now, was that loud enough so I could...
Well, you guys all know that the cast corridor has for a very long time been the stalking ground of a very powerful serial killer. And it's to the point where they don't even recommend neonate vampires go in there. They don't know what it is, but it's whatever it is, it's good at what it does, and it seems to stay in its own little lair, its own little neighborhood, so it's good as long as it just kills in that territory. This has been going on for 30 years. And yes, it's based on something in reality.
As Mr. Tyson returns the phone to the Nosferatu, well, that is good to hear. We should indeed stay clear of that area until we have more information about it. I would hate to think that one of our canine brethren had ventured in there and lost his unwife for death. Although it is not entirely a bad thing. In the event that those dreaded stupid-ass Camarilla decide to show up, we have a perfect place to put them.
Absolutely.
Our co-main event of the evening. In this corner, weighing in at 325 pounds, Butterbean! And his challenger, Tank Abbott!
Hey, gentlemen, this is exactly what I was referring to earlier. You look at the size of these two men. Look at how large these two men are. In this particular setting, that is seen as an asset. But if they were to go out on the streets and they were to run into the average Joe Schmo, as the mortals say, on the street, there's a good chance they would get their ass. Would you gentlemen like to know why this is?
Because the kind are weak. The kind are weak.
Too.
That's why they're kind.
This is true, but the reason why is because, much like the Camarilla, these two gentlemen that you see in that square circle down there have prepared themselves for only the opponent they currently face. They have placed, as they say among the time, they've placed all their eggs in one basket.
I want to talk to Dr. John Carter.
We as the Sabbat we should have better sense than this. We should be prepared for combat on all angles. Trust me, it will come. When the Camarilla get a wild hair up their ass and decide that we need to be moved and that their ivory tower needs to be rebuilt in this fair city of Detroit, they will bring the war, and we must be prepared for it, gentlemen. We must stock up on the firearms, and yes, I am a proponent of mortal weaponry used against the Camarilla. Why is this? Because the Camarilla, in their ill-fated traditions, have failed to see the value that lies in the mortal kind. They understand them as friends. Trust me, gentlemen, we have no friends among the mortals. We have no friends among the Camarilla. The kind are cattle and little else. They are there for our enjoyment. We must not forget this. We must never forget this.
Dr. John Carter, you see Cain Velasquez and his opponent come out to the arena. Roll me an intelligence plus awareness.
Okay, coming right up. Intelligence plus awareness. Wait, did you say awareness?
Yes.
Okay, I've got 0 dots in awareness. That will only be an intelligence roll.
Okay.
I didn't use any of my specialties under intelligence, but I'm assuming that that 10 counts as 2 successes.
2 successes? Okay, Cain Velasquez is obviously enhanced in some way. It could be anything from, well, he's enhanced. And, you know, his muscles just don't seem right. His muscles, his poise, the way he's light on his feet, his movements, it just doesn't seem right. He's not playing by the same rules. That's all you know.
Okay, Mike.
Go ahead, guys.
Shackleton says Roy.
I'm sorry. I didn't catch you. You cut out.
No, my character loud. Shuckles Roid Rager.
Okay. Actually, he's a Brujah. I would have given you a couple more successes. You would have got that. Cain Velasquez is a Brujah. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, but again. All right.
Gentlemen, I wanted to ask you, gentlemen. I don't know how well you follow the local Time papers, but I was reading through the local Detroit paper early this morning as I was preparing for my sleep, and there is apparently some great philosopher or astronomer of some kind that is preparing to speak at the university. Did you gentlemen happen to see that?
I managed to hear something about it in the newspaper.
Do any of you guys have awareness? I mean, academics, besides Will and Guthrie. Do you guys have academics? Walter?
I think.
No awareness, right? I mean, no academics.
I don't think academics now.
Okay. You certainly don't know what he's talking about. Nefertiti doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know all about it.
He's apparently some great philosopher of astronomy and philosophy and physics. It's all manner of science, as they so say. And he's preparing to speak at one of the colleges. I mentioned this because I did a little research on the gentleman. Yes, I was that bored. I did a little research on him. Turns out he's not everything he's supposed to be.
Then who is he?
Let's just say he has a penchant, or at least I believe. Let's just say he has a penchant for the supernatural.
Wait a minute. Why do you even say that? Why do you say that?
Let's just say I believe he has a penchant for supernatural that involves the use of a certain bodily fluid.
What? I don't know where you get that. Hey, Dr. John Carter, do you have any kind of connection to the supernatural that people would know of?
Not directly, no. It's written in my backstory. My character was embraced back in 1993 in New Orleans. But he has been, the only thing that would indicate that he might be supernatural is the fact that he looks like he's in his 20s, even though he's actually 45. That's the only thing that would indicate that.
Well, Will, you have enough of a reason to go see him with your academics 4 to go see him without having to connect him to anything that necessarily supernatural. But these other guys, that's a kind of a hard sell. I'm going to leave it up to them whether they want to attend you or not. By the way, Cain Velasquez totally destroyed his opponent, and the night is over. The event is over.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sweep the hallway before allowing the Archbishop to proceed. What does it look like?
You're free to go all to your respective homes at this point.
Oh.
And I can continue role playing if Will wants to keep going. I can continue right into Wayne State University with you guys all with Dr. John Carter if you want. I'm ready.
I'm game for that if anyone else is.
I'm fine. So, yeah.
So, is there any reason for you guys to go with him to this lecture?
As a bodyguard, unless.
Oh.
I mean, unless I've been.
Guys.
And I'm sort of shadowing him, quite literally.
I need a 1d10 because you guys went to bed. You guys went to bed for the day, right? I need a 1d10 for a daytime random encounter for each one of you.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got roll the 2.
Sorry, does that include me?
Yes.
Okay. 1d10, 6.
Will,
My
get
dice name is
mine.
being,
All right.
my dice name is
Nufridi, do you have any kind of influence or contact or ally? Please mute if you're not talking, guys. Nufridi, do you have any influence or what's your streetwise?
Streetwise is 2.
Well, when you wake up and you go outside to go to the liquor store or whatever you're going to go do, there's a rival gang, a gang that should not be in your neighborhood, tagged one of your walls, and they were the Errol Flynns. The Errol Flynns tagged the wall of the Robin Hoods, which is not good. And those are actual Detroit gangs. Okay, Guthrie, when you were sleeping, when you wake up, you notice, do you have any influence or contacts or allies or streetwise? I can't hear you. You're muted or you're cutting out. I'm sorry, you're cutting out. But I'm going to tell you.
I'm muted. I was about to say, no. I have allies, but they're back in New York.
All right. You don't know anything. You don't notice anything about when you were asleep. You don't notice anything that was going on. Okay, next is Walter's character. The Nosferatu. Give me a 1d10.
Will, could you handle that?
Walter, because these monitors not going to allow him to take care of that right now, so I'm going to need someone else if they would be kind enough to roll for him.
I'll roll the d10.
I need someone.
Hey, I rolled the
while
d10
you
for
are
that one.
sleeping. Okay. Do you have streetwise awareness? Streetwise, any contacts, allies, or influence with like the low-level street culture of your neighborhood?
He's got a contact in the church who probably has contacts of his own. So.
Right. Okay. All you know is a couple gang members walked through the territory that you're in at night. They didn't do much in the park, but you don't really want them in the park. But they were there. You know, they were there during the day, actually, and you kind of don't want this gang in the park. They're pretty bad. So, who's next? Will.
I'll roll another one for him. Hang on. He rolled a 6.
Oh, you guys are rolling each other's rolls. Will, do you have any streetwise contacts, allies, influence in the street culture? gosh, I can't hear you. All right, I can't hear you, but I'm just going to say that you know that in your area that you sleep in, okay, there was a police presence during the day. Okay, there was a police presence during the day. That's all you know. Okay, guys, go ahead. Guthrie, go ahead and start with your lecture. I'm going to assume. Oh, go ahead, Eric. What do you want to say?
Okay. Now, when I notice this, okay, do I see they're still around? When I step out, are they still the gang still hanging out there, Flynn's?
No, they just tagged your neighborhood. That's all.
So just tagged. Okay, so and this neighborhood is owned by the Robin Hoods, correct?
Yeah.
I know
Yes.
that. I know
they're
all
part
that.
of your. Yeah, they're part of your information network.
Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the leader.
Okay.
And say, hey, okay, you know what's going on here.
Man,
See this?
Okay.
You know what's going on here, right?
Yeah, man, I know. It happens a lot. They're just showing their balls. What we do is we double our presence tonight, and nobody's going to come around no more. If they do, I'm going to let you know. But we double our presence, they ain't going to come and tag us no more. They just know that we were a little bit partying on the side, you know?
Yeah. Hey, no worries. I will be sure to assist you in my own special way. That's all you need.
Now, who is going to join Will tonight? Or Will, are you going to try to press them into service to join you to go with Guthrie to go see Guthrie at Wayne State University tonight?
Yes.
Well, you guys had a good time last night, right? You had a good time at the fight. So why don't go to this lecture? See what's up.
I don't see why not.
Mr. From his slumber, he rises from his slumber and he dresses. And what you see is, as I just came close, so did Mr. Tyson. What you see is this camouflage vest that I wear now. You see on this side a tab that says President, and on the back of the cut, you would see the logo for the Rebel Sons Motorcycle Club.
Wow.
As Mr. Tyson retrieves his phone, and he dials the number of Mr. Grimm and waits for the phone to ring.
Go ahead, boss.
Mr. Grimm,
Yes, sir.
I will require your presence tonight if you are at all able to attend me.
See what I can do.
Also, the friend of yours that you sent into employment for my protection this past Eve.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to procure his service.
Done. I'll give him a ring.
Very well. We will be attending this so-called lecture of this one so-called wonderful doctor. And
before you guys... Okay, go ahead.
I will meet you at, say, 7 o'clock.
All right. Sure.
Okay, so you guys wake up. You're awake at night. This is your daytime, your vampire daytime. I want a D10 from everyone before they get to the university. Your nighttime random encounters.
I rolled 2 successes. I rolled a 10.
Okay. Ooh.
I rolled a 1.
Right. Okay. All you know, Eric, your associates in the neighborhood, they tell you, the leader of the Robin Hoods tells you that there was a home invasion in the suburbs last night. They don't know which gang did it, but it wasn't our territory. But that's just what goes down sometimes. It's pretty tragic when people fucking run into people's houses and just kill them and then take all their shit. But that's a Sabat city.
That is
So
Sabat?
You know.
Okay.
Okay, Guthrie, go ahead. Go ahead, New Freedy. New Free
Okay.
2.
No, okay, so that is that's the pot area, and I haven't received a phone call yet from obviously. So after talking to that leader, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back in my hallway, obfuscate, then step back out and make a walk around of the neighborhood and see what I see. Of course, I have a cell phone, so.
You go into that neighborhood, which is miles away. It's not your territory, but there's police, and the police are investigating the home invasion, which is just a typical brutal, rape and robbery. Okay, let's go to Guthrie, daytime 10. You have strange dreams, Guthrie, while you were sleeping, which doesn't happen like ever, that someone was watching you while you were in. So when you wake up, you're a little disturbed.
Okay.
And Walter. Someone needs to roll for Walter.
Yeah.
I'll roll for him. Hang on, I'll roll for him. 4.
Daytime, nighttime occurrence. Oh, Walter, you go out on your street where you live, the Nosferatu, when you surface from the sewers or wherever you are. I don't know if you've established that yet. The entire street is just destroyed. The church. The front of the church is vandalized to no end. No gang symbols. The church, the stained glass windows are all broken out. People are rubbing shit on. They desecrated your church inside and out. That's all. It happens. And Will. What'd Will roll? A 3? That's a 3, isn't it? Oh, Will. When you wake up, you see that there is a distant house fire, but you've seen that before. Okay, guys. Now you all meet at the university.
When you guys show up, you are halfway. You are actually entering the tail end of Dr. Carter's lecture. Not the tail end. Sorry, the somewhere in the middle. You're entering somewhere in the middle. I'll flip up the screen share so you guys can see what I'm. So you guys can see what's being presented on the PowerPoint projector. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are seeing here is Stephen Hawking's interpretation of a Lorentzian wormhole. This is used for crossing between any point in space-time and even possibly between parallel universes. Perhaps a parallel universe where supernatural beings are in one universe, just a joke. Supernatural beings are manipulating the affairs of humans to such a point where governments are shutting down and destroying virtually everything that could possibly be used for the protection of the humans, but possibly also endangering the supernaturals themselves. But like I said, this is only a flight of fancy. In our reality, it is just dumb leaders of the American government who can't agree on a budget and shut down everything, including scientific research. That concludes my lecture for today. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
Sorry, I was going to do more of a lecture.
As the good doctor is talking, Nufrutu sidles up to the Nosferatu. Says, have you heard any disturbances in your neighborhood?
Somebody trashed the church. Not happy about it.
I have a few contacts on the street, and there's a typical home invasion, but seems like there may be something going on. I was just, since you're a man of information, and first of all, I want to thank you for taking part of my and view me as a resource for the Cardinal. So my appreciation.
Yeah. We'll talk.
And then after talking to him, I just begin scanning the crowd and seeing what's going on. Anything out of the ordinary?
Roll me a perception. Does it always have to be perception plus something, or can it just be perception?
Depends on what you're looking for.
He's looking for something out of the ordinary in the hallway.
Oh, okay. Then,
Okay, so see for perception then. Anything?
Alertness for mundane, awareness for supernatural.
Okay, then it would be alertness and intelligence.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's 4 die.
Walter, say good night.
3 successes.
When it goes off at 12, that means bedtime.
Okay, what you see that in the hallway, the door next to the lecture hall, whatever classroom that is, there's some. It looks like water has been dragged into that and scrapes on the tile. Scrapes on the tile and water dragged into that room for some reason. Now I don't know if that makes any sense to you. You care about that, but that's what you see.
So there's water on the tile?
Yeah, right in the classroom in the dead of night, and with scrapes on the tile leading into the classroom. And there's a guy standing. There's a guy standing at the end of the hall, looking kind of nervous. Just a fat professor. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Are you going to act on that?
Perhaps I'd like to investigate. Hey
guys, I got work in the morning. I just realized it's past 1. I gotta hit it.
so I guess we're ending the scene here.
We're going to pause here. We're going to pause. Walter's taking off.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah.
Right. We go pause here? Alright, cool.
Okay, we'll pause here and take it on and catch it up later.
Thanks.
Catch you later.
Alright, have a good evening.
See ya.
See. And I can't exactly exit, so.
Okay. Are we gonna go back?
I'll get you out for the rest of the scene. Just step out of the room.
Okay. Okay. No problem. So Guthrie has already wrapped up his presentation. Now the prince. Do you want to meet with Guthrie? I mean, Archbishop. Do you want to meet with him, or what?
Oh, definitely.
But I want to say, I mean, I see the prince moving towards him, so I'm going to have to follow him, but I'm really concerned. I'm looking back at that water. That's the only thing I noticed. Are the lights on? Lights are on in the hallway, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And what color is it? Anything? Any smell? Do I notice any smell?
No.
Okay.
Do you have
I'm going to accompany the prince, but I'm going to be continuing looking around to see if I notice anything.
Do you have auspex?
I mean, not the prince, the cardinal. No, I do not.
Okay. All right. So Guthrie and the Archbishop meet.
Dr. Carter is just finishing up putting the slideshow away and packing his laptop back in his briefcase. Turns around and sees the 2 gentlemen approaching him. Hi, gentlemen. How might I be of assistance?
Oh, Dr. Carter, I've heard many words about you in the last time. Heard you've got a pretty successful practice going out over in the Big Apple.
Yeah, well, you know how NYU is. Matter of fact, I accepted this opportunity to speak at Wayne State because I needed to get out of New York to clear my head.
It's rather smoggy. It's really smoggy there.
Oh,
Very
you
small.
no idea. I just spoke with a very high-up person in New York who is particularly a pain in the ass right now. I hope word doesn't get back to him, but suffice to say, he's basically said that the whole thing in Washington is a manipulation by a few group of him and his cronies, and that nothing to worry. And how many frickin' things are they going to just destroy in the process of the government shutdown?
Well, that's government for you. Government do one thing, and that's government.
So, may I ask what I can do for you?
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make your wonderful book.
The fat professor. The fat professor at the end of the hall rushes towards Guthrie, but he stops when he sees that he's surrounded by other people, some daunting figures. But he's like, trying to get a word in edgewise, but he'll wait. He'll wait politely. But he looks all sweaty.
Yeah, Dr. Carter says, hang on a sec. Okay, what's this about?
Dr. John Carter. I can't believe you're here. Do you know anything about history, sir? Especially Michigan history?
Not particularly Michigan history. Why?
I believe I have found the original site of where the French settlers have first arrived in Detroit. Me and my students went on a night expedition on a field trip, and I believe I may have found it in Detroit. Do you think that's amazing news? I mean, I'm an anthropologist. To me, that's amazing.
Tell you what, talk to your, I would say, talk to your department, make sure you get it independently vetted, and when it actually hits the peer-reviewed journals, that's when I'll read it and send my comments to you accordingly.
Wow, you seem a little bit more dispassionate about it than the last professor. He almost, well, I don't want to get into it, but that was it upset my class and myself when this other professor came in, demanding to know all we knew. I find myself divulging everything I know to the man without even, I don't know why I blabbed out everything out to him about where the site is and everything. The guy just comes in, he looks all scary. I've seen him before. I know he works here. Anyways, thanks, Dr. Carter. Thank you, Carter. He leaves.
Sorry about that, gentlemen. Sorry about that, gentlemen. Sometimes my fellow academics can be a little over the top. I know I can be from time to time. Anyway, as we were saying, what was it I could do for you again?
May I ask who that was?
That appears to be a local professor, a Dr. Brinkman, I believe his name was.
Dr. Brinkman.
Yeah, Dr. Brinkman in the anthropology department.
Yeah. At this time, I'm going to attempt a discipline. I'm going to attempt to dominate Dr. Carter into listening to me only.
Okay.
And what is your willpower?
My character's willpower is 5, but he will not burn any of it. He's already talking to you, so he has no problem. I have no problem having him susceptible to a dominate. In this case.
Okay. All right. This is going to be a manipulation and intimidation roll for me, and it's going to be a difficult equal to your willpower, which is 5, and the roll will post momentarily.
Okay.
That 5, 2. Looks like 1 success.
Okay. Dr. Carter is paying attention to you. Dr. Carter is paying attention to you. He is not intimidated by the 1 success, but he is paying attention to you. You have his undivided attention.
You seem to know quite a bit Good doctor. Quite a bit more than perhaps someone in your position should be privy to.
At this point, yeah, okay. My character can't use awareness to be aware of that. So yeah, he's not. Dr. Carter says, "Oh well, that's blatantly. Sorry. To what are you referring?"
Good doctor, I think you know exactly to what I'm referring.
You say that I know a lot for a man in my position. Again, the question is, to what are you referring? We're alone. Let's be blatant.
Let's just say I have reason to believe that you are not all you present yourself to be. I did a little research on you. I did a little research on you, good doctor.
Yes?
And things that don't add up. I'm going to be very blatant. You alone, at the moment, pose no threat to my city. But I would warn you, sir, to step carefully.
I have no intention of being
aware. I am aware, at least I believe I am aware, that you require a form of sustenance that no other person requires. So I will say again, be careful where you step in my city. Because trust me, she's a bitch. You don't want to piss her off, because she will bite you in the ass.
I fully understand that.
You can tell all your little science friends the same thing. You can tell all your little friends back in New York who want to place all of us under their rule this as well.
A bunch of students come up and they go,
Detroit
City!
City. And they come up.
So we're in closing, sir, again, I remind you to be careful where you speak, where you step, and I remind you to watch your words carefully in this city.
Yes. Dr. Carter.
New York.
Dr. Carter resets his glasses and speaks to to Wiley, not knowing his name. Sir, the reason I am down here, none of my fellow, if we are speaking of the same thing, then none of my fellows in New York have any desire to come to Detroit. The only reason I accepted an opportunity to speak here is because of the fact that I am pissed off at my ruler in New York and needed some time to clear my head before I figure out what to do next. He has possibly endangered the entire existence of kindred kind in the long term because of some little petty feud that he's currently doing. So I'm not particularly happy at the moment.
You guys notice the students...
Word.
Dr. Carter. Dr. Carter, do you realize your students are here?
They are there.
Oh.
Perhaps we'll have another time.
Could one of you dominate them to forget this?
The students next, the classroom next to you guys is letting out. I want whoever works here. Who works here? Nobody. You're a visiting professor. Nobody works in Wayne State University, right? See, okay, so you don't know that these guys shouldn't be in that classroom at that time. They're dragging wet canoes out of the classroom and scraping them. So that's where the water and the scrapes came from. They had wet canoes, and they're dragging them out, and they all look very exasperated and tired, these students. They're going out with Dr. Brinkman.
Yeah.
They're leaving with Dr. Brinkman.
They're carrying canoes. Now, okay, so looking at that.
Yes, Dr.
But after telling Dr. Carter your students are here, perhaps we should cease this conversation for now.
I see your point. Please note that depending on how this goes, I may be back to Wayne State to speak from time to time and do lectures here. But that's up to the university, and I may accept a small position to come and speak here. But I will not be continuing. But I want you guys to know that that if we're speaking of the same thing, I will not be continuing activities of a certain sort here.
Right. No physical activities.
No physical activities.
You're going to leave. You're going to leave for New York as soon as possible. I know. I understand.
Yeah. No. I'm saying that to the other two. I'm saying that to the other two, in character. Okay. To both of you, I will not be continuing certain physical activities here. I am only here visiting. I will be returning to New York, and then occasionally, if I'm asked to speak at Wayne State, I may return to continue doing guest lectures. That is all I am here for. I have no intention of intruding on your business, and I don't expect that any others of my colleagues are interested in intruding on your business either, because I'm not even sure they're aware of your situation.
There's a news report on right now that states, regarding the chemical fire in Detroit tonight, everyone knows the chemical fire. We were unable to distinguish the blades. Emergency services were unable to determine the source of the blades or the mystery mist that descended upon the suburbs. There's been a disturbance within the area, even though people have been told to leave. Chemcorp, who's responsible for the chemical fire, maintains that it is a recycling plant which is spewing nitrous chloride, silver, acid, oil, and gas into the city. Families are advised to evacuate the zone, but very poor. Some of the very poor families cannot afford to, and they stay despite the consequences. Emergency services have been called in to investigate, and today, in the big news of tonight, we are unable to determine the location of the latest emergency services to enter the mist zone. That is all for tonight. Thank you for watching Detroit News.
As hearing the news broadcast in the background, Dr. Carter turns to the other two gentlemen and says, "I'm done my lecture for this evening. Do you guys wish to, just on the off chance that this is something of our nature, shall we go in and attempt to stop the problem, or is this something that you would rather handle on your own?"
Trust me, I'm led to believe that we can handle this all by ourselves, Doctor.
Very well.
As Wiley pulled a large mag light from the pocket on his vest and begins to twirl it about his hands.
And again, I will continue packing up and heading back to my. I will head back to my motel before I leave the city. The following evening, the next evening. And again, I bear no intention of stepping in on your guys' business or your turf. I'm simply here as a guest lecturer, and like I said, I only accepted this position because I was this position as a guest lecturer for this to speak, because I've been having difficulty with my people with my colleagues back in New York right now, and I'm not particularly happy with them. So, yeah. So. Sorry, you were saying?
No. I defer to my Cardinal.
Oh, okay. Then we are speaking of the same thing. Since those pesky students are gone, I think we can actually speak plainly now. Yes, I am a vampire. Yes, I am a member of the Camarilla. For now. I am pissed off at my prince because of the fact that apparently he's been manipulating things up in Washington, D.C. And because of the fight that's going on, apparently there's been a whole bunch of crap which has been affecting my research and a wide range of other stuff, including the potential of killing off our entire food supply, by extension killing ourselves in the long term. So I'm not particularly happy right now with the Camarilla right now, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do next.
You mentioned.
So I have no intention of stepping on your. I have no intention of stepping in on your turf. I'm just simply here because I need to clear my head.
I'm pretty sure we can take care of what you need to do next. It's clear that you have issue with the Camarilla at the moment. So do we. We have a common
I might.
interest here, Dr. Carter.
I might defect. I need time to think. The reason I need time to think is because of the fact that unfortunately I'm still currently stuck up at NYU, and there's a pivotal amount of research that needs to be done there. Plus, the thing which is really concerning me is the fact that I will put it this way: I bear no love for the current Prince of New York. I bear no love for the current Prince of New York, and I'm really hoping that this wording does not get back to him because of the fact that it will kill me quickly. However, my sire currently is still in New York, and I am concerned for his welfare, which is part of the reason why I'm still trying to work things out. If I can convince him to turn either independent or Sabat, I may end up deciding to defect then. But until then, I may end up working within the Camarilla, depending on how things go. Either way, I am not happy with the way that things are going right now, and I need time to think. So suffice to say, I have not picked sides yet on anything. I am simply trying to weigh my options right now. I bear no ill will to the Sabat. I do not wish to intrude on your turf, and I will not conduct any feeding or other physical activities on your turf. I'm simply here as a guest lecturer for now, and I'm doing this to keep myself focused in the sciences and to clear my head until I figure out what the next step is. So I trust that will be not a problem with you guys.
As Wiley reaching into his pocket, he looks at Dr. Carter, and he locks eyes with him. Well, Dr. Carter, as he produces a large dagger from his vest. The offer stands, and it will continue to stand. You have but to make one move, and you can be rid of this Camarilla nonsense. Laws, regulations, and traditions that hold you down, that you must swear this fealty to your elders. What? This is lunacy. You know it, and we know it. Why do you continue to deny it? You know in your head it is.
Because of the fact that even though I do bear no love for the Camarilla elders in general, I have a particular interest towards my sire. My sire has been a very good man. I do not respect my elders normally. I just respect my sire. He is a particularly good. He himself has been a good man. He has not been oppressing me. In his case, when he was down, we had an exchange. We had a mutual equal exchange, and that's why I need to talk to him first. I need to figure out what I'm doing with him first, and then I will decide what I'm doing about how to join the Sabat. So, like I said, I need time. That's all I'm saying. When I'm back to Detroit next, I will give you my answer.
Perhaps there is wisdom to his answer there.
You are blind, my child. You are so blind. You swear that you claim you swear no fealty to the Camarilla, but you stood right here and said that you swore your fealty to your sire.
I don't swear fealty to him. I'm concerned for him. I'm concerned for him. I'm concerned for him in particular. There's a difference between the two. My sire in particular is a good man. The rest of the Camarilla I bear no love for. And I do not know what I'm going to do with regard to my sire yet, so I need time to think. I probably will end up defecting, but I need time to think. I need to weigh my options. I need to get my ducks in a row. I need to be able to move to Detroit. I need to get everything permanently set so I can get my affairs in order.
A security guard.
Once that's done, I can move.
A security guard appears at the end of the corridor.
I go. I tap the Cardinal on his shoulders. There's someone coming, my lord.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey.
Are you closing up? Closing up?
Yeah, we're closing up in a minute.
Okay, keeps walking by. He goes down the stairs.
So quick question for now. May I have safe passage for now to return to New York to set my affairs in order, and then be able to return to Detroit once I've actually got a permanent position set at Wayne State?
You have my permission that you will see expedited shipping, if you will, back to the Big Apple.
Thank you. And I will. And when I get invited back to guest lecture again at Wayne State, I will return and I will notify you guys promptly that I am on my way, so as to make sure there's no misunderstandings.
This is where you make
Well,
contact.
Dr. Carter.
Thank you.
I will leave you with one.
Dr. Carter takes the.
I will leave you with this. If everything you have told us this evening pans out to be truth, well, I can't say that. We'll just say it like this. If everything that you have told us this evening pans out to be the truth, we will not hunt you down, and we will not see you destroyed for your transgressions against my city. On the other hand, if we determine in the future that everything that has just came out of your maw is utter subterfuge and lies, rest assured that we will put our best men on the job, as Mr. Tyson cuts his eyes to his newly found bodyguard. We will place the best men on the job, and we will see to it that you are destroyed, and your sire is of no concern to me. If he gets involved, we will see to it that he is dealt with appropriately as well. But as for you, Dr. Carter, until I have arranged for it, you will stay out of my city. You will keep your nose clean in New York, and you will speak nothing of this to your prince.
Very well.
I
don't think I'd be telling my prince I even came to Detroit anyway. Understood. With this, Dr. Carter packs up his briefcase, gives a salute to the men, and walks out of the room.
Nice.
As
right.
Mr. Tyson turning to Neferi, keep an eye on him.
Indeed.
Yes. Yes, keep an eye on him.
Indeed. I plan on keeping a very close eye on him this evening.
Do you plan on following him back to his lair in some way?
I do, after I escort the Cardinal to his car.
Is it Cardinal or Archbishop? Cardinal, right?
Cardinal.
Okay.
It's
so
Cardinal,
you escort him to his car,
Bishop,
and then we need rolls to
right
see if
under-
you're going to be able to follow. If you're going to be able to follow Dr. John Carter or not, we're going to need some rolls.
What do you need me to roll?
I don't care if you follow him. Actually, before you do
You don't
that,
want me
James,
to
we need
follow
roll-
him? I mean, I'm not going.
No.
I'm not
follow
going to
him.
do this independently.
He's staying at the Radisson downtown. You know, he's
While
just
we want
staying
you
at
to
a
follow him,
motel.
Yeah, before you roll this, we probably need to see if Guthrie heard Wiley say that. So he did not say it with any degree of subterfuge, but Dr. Carter, if you have any type of aspects, anything like that, you probably need to see if he heard Wiley say it.
Okay, I'm going to roll perception. Hang on, I'm going to roll perception and auspex. So that's going to be 5 dice, I believe.
And I have 2
No,
in
4 dice.
subterfuge.
Okay,
I
so
have
it's going
2
to be 4.
points.
Well, in this case, we're just rolling.
Yeah, no, I'm going to roll 4 dice. Okay, I'm going to roll 4 dice to see if I overhear that. And no, I don't hear anything.
Oh, okay. So what would Nefertiti need to roll for shadowing?
Probably stealth plus let's see, stealth and yeah, I'd say perception.
Me too. Perception and stealth, or yeah, because he wants to stay out of view, but he also wants to be quiet. So he has to perceive what Carter perceives. So here we go.
Yeah,
it's only 4 dice. Oh, he fails. Wait, is that a blunder?
Ew.
Is that a blunder?
Yes,
Yeah,
that is.
That's a botch.
Guess what, Dr. John Carter?
Question.
You're getting ready to get into your you're getting into your cab, and you see Nefertiti is at the end of the street trying to stay in the shadows, watching you.
Dr. Carter sees him, waves him over, and says, "Come on, Nefri, come on. We can head back to my hotel for a drink."
I just wave at him.
Suit yourself. Dr. Carter gets in his cab and heads off.
That's funny.
And yeah, so does the scene end from there, or what? Or what's going on now?
As long as Will
I would
doesn't have
say
anything
so,
else
yeah.
to go. Okay.
Yeah, I have nothing else.
All right.
And
we're
So,
saying-
ladies and gentlemen, in the inaugural scene of Detroit by Dark. If you viewed this,
4 plot points.
you found we are looking for current players.
Yeah.
If you're interested, leave us a comment under this video. We'd be more than happy to have you.
Yes.
It's so
Here's-
cold in the D. How the fuck are we supposed to be
It is
free?
so cold. It's so cold in the day.
And
How the
is-
fuck are we supposed to be free?
Good night.
And this is Dr. John Carter cameoing from New York by Night.
Neat.
Ah.
Two.
All right. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night, all.